program, we are creating data frame. So basically in regular life, when we do programming, actual programming in the industry, we always deal with the data frames. Data frame is nothing but it is like a Excel sheet. Okay. So data frame is containing title of the column. So this first row, whatever we have, that is called title column. Okay. So all the variable are what this column is belongs to. Suppose if I say this is age, means this entire column is belongs to age. So here age is nothing but it is a title of that particular column. So that is one thing. So out of after that we have the rows, like suppose if you take roll number one, that respect to person age and his name, his gender, and his salary and his experience, like that. Each row from the second row onwards, each row represented as a record. So these things, basic things you will know already. So this is what we call it as a data frame. Okay. So even if you take Python or you take R programming, we call it as a data frame. If you see that in Excel, we call it as a worksheet, Excel sheet, like that. So that the same Excel sheet we can upload it. So there are many formats. So basically, generally we use in industry, they use CSV files. CSV files means comma separated values. So comma separated values means each row elements is separated by comma. See, like what in the just nothing but one thing which is comma separated. See, here we are defining gender column. So in that column, the first element is male, second element is male, third element is a female, again female, male. So this all combining and we are creating a vector. But if you see, this is comma separated. So here we separated by comma. Similarly, we have different types with tab separated, like delimiter separated. Like here we have three, then one tab space, then again four, one tab space five, again tab space six. So this is one kind of saving format. And another format is comma separated three, comma four, comma five, comma six. So there are different ways we have to save the data. But most of the data we use in regular life is comma separated values. So here they are asking us to create an data frame. So data frame that should contain 5 employee details. Okay, 5 employee details. Like we take whatever the variables we want. So basically we are doing with name, then gender is another column, then age, then designation, then we have SSN number. So this is my data frame. So in this data frame, I need 5 employees records. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose some person name is A and he is male and his age is 20 and his designation is assistant manager and his SSN number, some unique ID, like you not unique ID, it is some number represented for that employee. So let us assume that this is an employee ID. So his employee ID is 1, 2, 3. Similarly, second person respect to name is B and his gender is female and age is some 18 and is manager, so she's manager, and respect to employee is 456. Similarly, C, D, E, F. So these are the employee names, the genders, then their respect to ages, then their position like manager, assistant manager, and their respect to serial numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, or 891, some 982. So this is that how we have to create one data frame. So we can do this data frame in multiple ways. So that depends on your interest. So few here it was mentioned 5. So I'm defining all the 5 vectors and combining 5 vectors into the data frame, fitting 5 vectors into data frame. That means I'm taking one column as name. So I take all the names as one column. So this is what we are doing here. So name is the column. So we are defining 5 vectors Then again I'm taking gender, and this 5 persons respect to genders I'm making as another column. So here gender I'm taking, and the first person is male, second person is male, third person is female, like that. Then again I'm taking age I'm taking as one column, and miss all records, all the data I am taking as columns and combining all the columns as a data frame. So that is what we are doing here. Even if you want to make a generalizer model, so it should ask users. So those who are the user using that program, it should ask like how many records you want to enter. See, I have newly joined. There are five people were there, or like five students were there. Your classroom strength is 60. Okay, assume that there is 60. In the second year, when you enter into the second year, there will be lateral entry people will be there. Lateral is they'll get joined. So each section maybe 6 students or 12 students get joined in second year, and you the previously you have all the 60 students database or data frame, and you want to add. So it should ask user, so how many records you want to add, how many records or how many records data frame you want to prepare. Let us assume that that person is entered 10, means it should ask like what is the employee ID, what is the name, and what is the gender, what is the experience, and whatever the columns we define. So it should ask. So one record is done. Then again for the second record, it should ask again the same thing like name, age, gender, experience, salary, like that. This is one way of asking. There is another way also. So once you enter 10, so you want to enter 10 records, right? So you enter 10 names at a time, like this way, how we are defining in this program, 5 names at a time, like that. You enter all the 10 names, then their respect to ages, then their respect to gender, then their respect to salaries, like that. So that is also one way we can do the data frame. But as of now, whatever the material we have, that is very simplified model. Basic things we took, and based on that only we prepared this material. It is not like complex. We are complex means like as I told you, it should ask user like how many records you want, and each record once you enter that will get stored in the data frame, like that. That is also we have that procedure also we have, but that is very complex compared to this one. This is the basic and beginning level. So we just define the variables, columns, and respect to elements, and we combine them as a data frame. So that is what we are doing here. So creating data frame, again, just recall what we did in the earlier classes, like that matrices concept when we discussed that the same that time itself we I explained about defining data frame also, factors, data frame. So this is the data frame. So here we are taking some BMI, that is my data frame name, and defining data frame is by this function data dot frame. So in this data dot frame, what you want. So I want gender, height, weight, age. So these are the column names, and gender means how many people you are involving into this data frame is 3 people. That's first one is male, second one is male, third one is female. And first one male respect to height is 152, first second male height is 171, and female is 165. And respect to person's weight is first male weight is 81, second male weight is 93, third female weight is 78, and the respect to ages is 42, 38, 26. So this is how we created. So the output look like this. Okay, now the same we are defining data frame here. So it is already mentioned 5m plus. So I am taking one column name is name. In that column, I am inserting 5 names. Okay, this is first name, second name. It is it is a string. That is why we are mentioning in double quotes by comma separation. So this is first name. Then second name in double quotes comma. That is second name. Double quotes third name. Double quotes fourth name, and double quotes fifth name. That's it. So that all these 5 names I'm combining, and this combined vector, because it is a vector, right? Because if you not mentioned anything like list or array or matrix, if you not defined anything, if you left out simply, that is saved as a vector. So this is the vector of names of 5 employees, and that vector name is name. So like that it got stored, comma. Next we are defining the gender. So first person gender is male, second person gender is male, female, then male. So that 5 respective persons genders we are storing as vector again, and that vector name is gender. Then the respective ages. So first person age is 23, second person 22, 25, 26, 32. And this ages and combining means combined as a vector and storing in variable name called age. Similarly, we are doing for designation and SSN. That's it. Because it whatever you are entering all these vectors, defaultly it is storing as a data frame, because in the beginning itself we are defining it as a data frame. So you take these vectors and make it as a data frame. Okay. What will happen? Suppose here you mentioned 4 names, and from here onwards you given 5 data. Hope you understand. Like A, B, C, D, and it is not get filled, but that respective person wait, like name is missing. Some applications data is missing, right? So you left out the data is empty. So it is get created one space for that one. Later on, even if we want, we can fill it. That is another complex, another task which we don't have in our course. So as of now, A, B, C, D, and there is one person E, and we don't know what is his name, and that respect to gender male, male, female, female, and this unknown person gender is male, and this is 23, 22, 20, 20, and 19. So this unknown person age is 19, like that. So if you don't have anything, that will treat it like a none or null. So this is how the data frame looks like. Employee data. Employee data frame. Okay. So in this data frame, we are defining 5 variables. So first I'll define that what is data frame. So in this data frame, what I need, I'll define here. So I just, sorry. So it was already indented. Just I kept cursor between 2 parentheses brackets, and I pressed shift enter. So it came with the indentation space. So here I am creating one variable name is name. So in this name, I want 5 employee names here. So my first employee name is A. Second person name is B, comma, double quotes. Name is C, because name is a string. Here I was giving something like first employee name is ABC, or we'll take something like Raj, Ronnie, Suresh. And fourth employee name is Ramesh. Fifth employee name is Samsumar. So these are the 5 names of employees. Once we done this, comma, because we have to declare another variable also. For each variable declaration separated by comma itself, comma only. Then again I press shift enter to continue the next row. So age. So I'm defining the age. So age of this 5 employees. So Raj is set for 32, and Rani is set for 30. Suresh is again 31. Ramesh is again 31, and Suma is some 34. So these are the age of the respective 5 employees. So this is another variable, or another vector is defined. So again, to define another vector, we have to separate by comma. Otherwise, if you don't mention this comma, you will get an error. Okay, it will get confused. What they are defining. If you say comma, comma is like a stopping for that respective statement. So age is one variable and it is defined. Then we'll take again, I'm pressing shift enter. It entered into the next row by indentation. Here I'm taking another variable called gender. So gender is a character, so we'll take double quotes here. So gender male. So Raj is male, Rani is female. Then Ramesh, sorry, Suresh, and then Ramesh, then Suma. So these are the genders of that respect to 5 employees. So again, comma separated. I pressed enter. That is the reason I'm getting error. Why? Because if I remove this comma and if I press enter, that will store it as a data frame. Here, if I mention comma means there is something this data frame, but I did not mention. That is the reason argument is missing, like that error I'm getting. If I remove this comma, yes, he's done his job. So we can make this 3 uh, uh, columns as a data frame and it makes as a data frame here. So here I was mentioned comma but not entered anything. So that is the reason I'm getting an error. If you want to see, if you see here, I remove the comma. Okay, that means I don't have anything to create. Like that, it means get stored as a data frame. Now I did not get any error. That means it is taking 3 columns, name, age, gender, and that respect to each gender, each column is having 5 records. Like this is the 5 records with 3 columns data frame. But if I want to enter more, I should mention comma here, comma, again shift enter. So what I want to create another one is employee ID. So this is my employee ID column. So combine all these elements. See, if it is a case sensitive, so it is better to maintain small case. So employee ID, and in the employee ID is 2 3, second and third 4 5 6, then 7 8 9, then 1 5 9, then 1 5 6, then 8 5 2. So these are the 6. Sorry, we defined only 5 employees, right? So 5 employees and respect to employee IDs. And let us assume there is one salary. So shift enter salary of that 5 employees. See, so first employee salary is in thousands. I'm taking it is some 30,000. So it is defaultly, we assume that 30 means 30k, 30,000. Then second person is 34 and 31, 31. So this is how mentioned in its top here and press enter. So all this information, okay, all this information, whatever I mentioned here, 5 names will comes under the name column, their respect to age, gender, employee ID, and salary. Now we'll see the data from how it is got stored. So print PMP underscore, like what you defined, that the same name you have to mention here. If I say uh, small data, but when I defined here, I mentioned it as capital D, EAT. Okay, but here I was taken completely small letters. See, I'm going to get an error because it is not defined, because it is a case sensitive. So we have to be very careful while we are writing the variable. So that is the reason I asked you. It is suggestible that you always keep small letters. Right? Now this is the what we actually created as a data frame. So our data frame name is capital E M P underscore capital D A T A capital F R A M E. Now this is how the data is got stored. Okay. So name, respective person, age. So this is my column names. First person name is Raj and his age is 32, his gender is male and his employer is 123 and his salary is 30K. See here, Raj, age is 32, May gender is male, his employer is 123, then salary is 30K. So this is how it is getting entered. Now we'll do small change. In the same program, I entered one person name. Suppose there is one more person in the data frame, like his name is suppose Rakesh. But I did not mention his age, gender. We'll see now what will happen. What is happening? Arguments implying differing from the number of rows is 625. So we are getting an error that you are entering 6 names, but remaining all the uh, variables like gender, age, salary, employee ID, and salary is consisting only 5 elements. Okay, so it should be like as I told you in the earlier, that was wrong. In the same data without any missing values, then only it will get stored. So I'll change this now. I will hold his name and store. Now I'll get it properly. So this is how we create a data frame. Okay. General life, we don't create data frames using R or Python or anything. Whatever the data stored in Excel or MySQL files, database files, that that file we directly save it as a data frame in the R or Python console. Any doubts here? Just creating 5 employees record as a data frame. So just we are creating 5 vectors with 5 variable names, and all that 5 vectors we are making as a data frame by calling the function data.frame. That's it. And if you want to get summary, it's very simple. Text, there is one command. And you want to know what is the summary. So summary is a function. It is a function. So summary of what you want, which summary you want. So that is I want employee data frame summary. So this is my variable name. So I just so employee data frame summary, and that summary you have to print. So just print it. That's it. So it says that name is a character, and there is in the under name we have 5 elements. So the length is there, and it is like a statistics. So it will give the statistical summary of the data frame. So it is name is a character. So we don't for characters we need not to calculate. It is not possible to calculate mean, median, mode, variance, standard deviation, like those things. It is not possible. So it will just tell how much it is length, like how many variables is defined under that name. So this length is 5. So by 5 employees records was there, and the 5 employees character. I mean, all the 5 employees are in terms of characters. So this is what it is defined. Age. But if you see here, one thing, mode we can possible mode is a possible case for the characteristics also. Suppose A, B, A, C, A, B. If this is the string I enter, all these are characters only, means characters only. If we can calculate mode is nothing but it is most occurred value, most occurred thing, anything. Either it is a character. So if you see here, A is repeated most of the times, where A count is more. So A is repeated 4 times, B is repeated 2 times, C is repeated once. So where A is the mode, highest repeated value, so we can get here mode as A. But here all the 5 names are completely unique, so that is the reason there is no mode for this one. That is the reason it is getting printed as a character. If we have any duplicated names, then it will get printed that respective name as the mode. If one name is repeated most of the times, there instead of character you are going to get that name instead of mode for the mode. Well, and when it is come to the age, we have different ages. So from that ages it is calculated what is the average weight, average uh, weight. Yeah, so these are the ages we have: 32, 30, 31, 31, 34. So in this, minimum age is 30, this is our minimum age, and maximum age is 34. So minimum age is 30 and the maximum age is 34. And the median, so median for this one is which the point which dividing into two equal ratios, that is 31. So the median for this data is 31, and the mean average age is 31.6. And as I told you in the last class about quartiles, so that entire data is divided into 4 parts: q1, q2, q3, q4. Each one is with respect of, so 0, 25%. So 0 to 25% we take as first quartile, 25 to 0.26 to 50% we call it as second quartile, 50 to 75% we call it as third quartile, 75 to 100% we call it as fourth quarter. Quarter means 1 by 4. So that entire data divided into 4 parts. So this is our q1, q2, q3, q4 quartile. So here it was mentioned this first quartile value is 31, and second quartile, third quartile is not mentioned. Third quartile is 32. Okay, so this is how it was getting the statistics for the numerical column. If it is a numerical column, we'll get what is minimum, what is mean, maximum, what is mean, what is median, what is first quartile, and what is for third quartile, like that. Again, if you see this gender is a like characters. So why, I don't know why it is got printed as character. It should get printed like male. Otherwise, the syntax may be like this. But in Python, you will get mode for this one as, because more males were there. So you'll get mode equals to m instead of character in Python programming. In R, we are getting character itself. Let it be. So it is a string. It is again characters. So it is not possible to calculate mean, median, mode, and quartiles. So directly it's showing that its length is 5. That's it. Again, if you see here, employee ID is also, it's a numerical column. That is the reason it is getting calculated like mean, median, mode, and quartiles. Okay, because employee ID we are saving as a numerical value. If you want to make it like if you say it is a character, so character means you just keep those numbers in double quotes, so it will treat like a character. Let's see now. So here 1